In the diagram, A and C are two of the vertices of triangle ABC. AB is horizontal and BC is vertical. Determine the area of the right-angled triangle ABC. So this is 2, and this looks to me like a 6. So therefore, this side is 4 in length. And that is a 3, and that is a 7. So that side is also 4. So the area, since that's a right triangle, the area would be 1/2 base times height. The base is 4, the height is 4, and that is 8. In the diagram, triangle XYZ has vertices XYZ for some real numbers a greater than 3, which means that side YZ is horizontal. If the area of XYZ is 24, determine the value of A. Okay, so let's draw a vertical here, and I will call that, well, I don't know the length actually. That's 3, and that is A. So that this length is basically A minus 3. So let's just put that in there, A minus 3. And then this is 4, and that's 10. So that means that length, that top to bottom length is 6. So the area would be 1/2 base times height. The base is A minus 3, and the height is 6, correct? And then they actually tell you the area is 24 right there. So 24. And that looks to me like 3 times A minus 3 divided through by 3, and we get 8 is A minus 3. Therefore, A is 11. Quadrilateral PQRS has vertices PQRS. As stated, the diagonal QS is horizontal and divides PQRS into two triangles as shown. There is one positive integer C with the property that the area of PQRS is 180. Determine the value of C. All right, very similar to before. We're going to draw some, I guess, altitudes. And let's see what we have here. That C plus 2, that is C. This here coming down is C. This here coming down is 2C. And this is 4, and that of course is 28. Okay, I think that's pretty decent here. Oh, this one coming down here is 25, and I think that should be enough. Okay, so the area of this whole thing is 180. So that basically is two triangles. The first 1/2 base times height, and then the second 1/2 base times height. So let's see what those bases and the heights are. So the first one, the top one, let's just concentrate on the top one. Let's make the top one this guy up here. The base is from here to here, so that looks like 2C minus C. I'm just going to put it in like that. The height is from here to here, so that looks like C plus 2 minus C. Wait, hold on. Let me backtrack here. C plus 2 minus C. Yeah. C plus 2 minus C. Okay, now the next triangle, obviously this bottom one, that one, 1/2 base. The base is, again, 2C minus C. And the height looks like it'll be C minus 4. And there we go. That's pretty much the equation. So this will be, if I multiply through by 2, it'll be 360 is equal to C times 2 plus C times C minus 4. Correct? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So that would be 360 is equal to C squared minus 4C plus 2C. Put everything on one side, and that would be 0 is equal to C squared minus 2C minus 360. And I think this should factor, let's see here, 20 and 18. And C positive, negative. Yeah. And therefore C is 20. That's the only positive value of C. Beryl ran 30 kilometers. She ran the first 20 at 12 kilometers per hour. last 10 kilometers at 10 kilometers an hour. Determine the total amount of time in hours that it took for Beryl to run 30 kilometers. So we have start to finish here, the distance and the speed. And remember, distance is equal to, speed is equal to distance over time, or any variation of this formula. For example, time would be equal to distance over speed, like that. Okay, so for the first, how many kilometers here? For the first 20, the speed is 12. And for the next 10, the speed is 10. So the total time would be, using this formula here, would be 20 over 12 plus 10 over 10. Correct? So that'd be 2. This is 20 over 10 is a 10 over 6, which is 10 over 6. Yeah, 1.6 repeat plus 1, which is 2.6 repeat. And then in terms of hours, that would be 2 hours and 40 minutes, I guess. That would be the exact answer. Carol walked 10 kilometers in 2 hours and 18 minutes. For the first X kilometers, she walked 6 kilometers per hour. For the remaining 10 minus X kilometers, she walked 4 kilometers per hour to determine the value of X. Okay, so very similar. You have a certain X and then 10 minus X, and then the distance and the speed. So actually, the distance is what I just wrote. The speeds are 6 and 4. So the time would be X over 6 plus 10 minus X over 4. And the time, did they tell me the time? Yeah, 2 hours and 18 minutes. So if I come 18 divided by 60, I think it's 0.3. So this will be 2.3 if in terms of hours. And then get a common denominator. So that'd be 4x plus 6 times 10 minus x all over 6 times 4, which is 24. Cross multiply, and you're going to get 55.2 is equal to 4x plus 60 minus 6x. And therefore 55.2 is equal to 60 minus 2x, and therefore 2x would be 4.8, I guess, and then x would be 2.4. So there we go. Daryl rode his bicycle for a total of 3 hours, sorry. He rode A kilometers at 24 kilometers an hour, followed by B kilometers at 16 kilometers an hour. Determine the number of pairs A, B of positive integers for which this is possible. All right. Well, let's see here. So we've got same kind of scenario here. This is A, this is B, and those are the distances, and the speeds are 24 and 16. So the time would be A over 24 plus B over 16. And they gave me the time as 3. So 3 is this, A over 24 plus B over 16. Multiply through by common factor, let's say 48. That'll give me 144 is equal to 2A plus 3B. So basically what we're trying to figure out is integer solutions to that equation. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's make a table and let's see what we get. Smallest integer is 1. If I put that in there, it would be 47.3. Now that's not an integer, so we got to keep going. That'll be 46.6. A is 3, it'll be 46. So this works. That works. If I go 4, it'll be 45.3. That's no good. 5, 44.6, not an integer. 6 gives me 44. Aha, so that works. Okay, so if you keep extrapolating this list, you'll notice that every, let's see here, every 3, you'll get an integer value for B. So 9 would give you 42, and 12 would give you 40. And as you can see, the B's are going down by 2. So it makes it really easy to kind of make this list. 18 is the next one, and so on. You can just keep going down, and eventually you'll get down to 2, and this will be 69. And if you count them all up, the ones that actually, give integer solutions, you'll see that there's 23 of them. Errol competed in an endurance competition that took 5 hours. He ran R kilometers at 12 kilometers an hour, then he jogged J kilometers at 8, and finally walked W kilometers at 4 kilometers an hour. Determine the number of triples, RJW, of positive integers for which this is possible. So as before, we've got a certain distance here, and it's broken up into R, J, and W for the distance, and the time, the speeds, I should say, that's what I meant to say, are 12, 8, and 4. So the time is, as before, R over 12 plus J over 8 plus W over 4. And the time is 5 hours. So again, I guess we have to play around with this equation. So the first thing we're going to do is try to get a common denominator, which I think maybe 24 would do it. If I multiply through by 24, I'll get 120 is equal to 2R plus 3J plus 6W. Yeah. Okay, so this is my equation that I have to now work with. Okay, let me try a different approach this time. Instead of immediately trying to hunt for solutions, let me see if I can simplify this a little bit at least. I'm going to let R equal 3K. That will make this equation 120 equals 6K plus 3J plus 6W. That makes it simpler a little bit, because now I can divide through by 3. And when I do, I'll get 40 is equal to 2K plus J plus 2W. Got it? So at this point, this is a little bit cleaner than before. All right, so now let's see what we can do. Let's bring this up here. So this equation, since the 40 is an even number, and this is 2 is an even number, and this 2 is an even number, that means that J must be even in order for all this to work. Otherwise, there's no way you'd get 40 on the other side. So if J is even, then J is of the form 2M. So let's put that in there. So we got 40 is equal to 2K plus 2M plus 2W. Now we can divide through by 2, and we just have K plus M plus W. At this point, I think I can make that table and try to figure this out. Okay, so we got K, M, and W. It's about as simple as I can make it, and everything is valid. Okay, so let's start with K equals 1. If K equals 1, then M plus W are 19, so I can put a 1 and a 18. That's one solution. Keeping K as 1, this could be 2 and 17. And then it kind of keeps on going. 3 and 16, you guys get the point. Keeping K as 1, the final value would be 18 for M and 1 for W. So this gives me 18 solutions. And that's when K is 1. When K is 2, then let's see what we get. That means that M plus W this time would be 18, so we could get 1 and 17, correct? And then similarly, if you keep on going, keeping K as 2, you get 17 and 1 as the final solution, and that would give you 17. And you just keep on doing this. And then eventually, when you get down to K is 18, you'd only get that one solution. You see what I'm saying? Right here, one solution. So if you add up, it would be 18 when K is 1. When K is 2, it would be 17. When K is 3, there'd be 16 solutions, and so on down. When it's 18, there'll be only one solution. So the total number of solutions would be the 18 plus the 17 plus the 16, and so on, all the way down to 1. And when you add up all these numbers, 18 times 19 divided by 2 using that formula, it's 171.